Madam Speaker, I note that the other side of the House have got their flags out. This is, I think, this is the second time in as many years. Second time in as many years they brought this flag out to probably show us some support for their cause. But if you look from this side of the House, their flag looks like it's on a half-mast.
Please, order. Order, we would
now
like to...
It's at half-mast, and I don't know whether it's to do with the situation with the NFP or it's to do with their party. The leader of the opposition has talked at length about democracy. Democracy, Madam Speaker, is alive right now. But I think the black ribbon they put on, or some of them have this morning, is a sign of the dying out of their party. Some have got it out in the front, some have it hidden in the side, some don't have it at all. There's a bit of confusion on this side of the House.
Order.
Even Honorable Karawaki's flag was on the floor for about 2 hours. I had to ask him to pick it off the floor. It's an insult to the people of Fiji. Madam Speaker, you may recall that on the 9th of February last year, I made a ministerial statement in this Parliament announcing a new Fijian flag initiative. And of course, spoken at length about why we need a new flag and the benefits of it for us as a nation. Indeed, many people who had heard my statement had commented to us, both inside and outside the Parliament, agreeing that we do need a new flag. Perhaps Honorable Mbulitabu was not here on that day. It's very hard to keep track, Honorable Speaker, of when the opposition is in or out of Parliament because of the number of boycotts we've had since Parliament commenced. The reasons and the rationale, of course, Madam Speaker, have not changed. However, as you know, Madam Speaker, I have been carrying out extensive tour of Voreqe and the Western Divisions in the past few weeks. The thousands of Fijians that I met were also given the same message that I gave last year as to how and why we need to have a new flag. And Madam Speaker, I can tell you that the understanding and the response has been overwhelming. Some, of course, did not initially understand, and the expanded time frame that we put in place, it has given them the opportunity to do so. In the same way, Madam Speaker, that many people from Voreqe who were given the wrong message about Fiji First, the message, of course, given by some of the members from the other side, now know that the true message of Fiji First and appreciate the fact that what they were told in 2014 were false. Let me quote, Madam Speaker, excerpts from my statement that I made in this Honorable House last year. It is time to move beyond these colonial connections and adopt a flag that is more in keeping with our national aspirations in the 21st century. It is time to move on from these honored symbols of our past to new symbols that represent our nation now and that will also resonate with future generations and decades and centuries ahead. We believe that Fijians share an aspiration to have a national symbol that reflects our present state as a nation, that has indigenous and truly Fijian symbols of identity, and that we can honor and defend as an authentic expression of our nation now and into the future. In other words, Madam Speaker, as I've said before, we understand how much flags matter. They are not merely pieces of cloth at the top of a pole, nor pieces of cloth on the bottom of a floor. They are expressions of who we are and the values we hold dear as Fijians. That's why, Madam Speaker, it's time for us to embrace change. It is time to dispense with symbols that speak more about our past than our future, to sever links that are no longer relevant. It is time to have a national symbol that reflects our present and our future state as a nation. The Union flag, the British Lion, and the Cross of St. George are British symbols, not ours. As an independent nation, we have the right to carve out our own identity in the world, so that when our soldiers are on peacekeeping missions, when our diplomats are representing us at the UN, when our athletes are competing on the world stage, they are doing so under a flag that is uniquely and proudly Fijian. That leaves no one in doubt that Fiji has its own destiny. There has been some criticism from those who would prefer the British symbols to our own, but overall, Madam Speaker, I have been very encouraged to see how many Fijians have their eyes on the future, not the past, in particular amongst the younger generations, to see how many believe in the vision of a new flag. We do not see the change of our national flag as a distraction. We see it as an inspiration, a new flag to reflect how far we have come together, a new flag that gives every Fijian a symbol we can even be more proud of as we continue to build a stronger and more unified nation and achieve the greatness that we all believe we are capable of. The Fijian nation is stronger in the world than ever before. Madam Speaker, this is what I stated in Parliament last year, and these reasons and rationales still remain. Last year, we asked Fijians all over the world to submit their flag, ideas and concepts, and were overwhelmed by the response. We received over 2,000 submissions of unique flags that contain symbols that those who create them saw as relevant to their own personal journeys as Fijians. We saw Ndruas, morning stars, rising sun, Nabui, creatures of the sea, coconut trees, and even a few rugby balls. Symbols that our current modern Fiji can relate to, and that our future generations will continue to fly proudly, regardless of age, ability, socio-economic status. The National Fijian Flag Feedback Consultations was a feedback gathering exercise where 23 flag designs for a new national flag were given to the public for their feedback, preferences and comments from June 6 to June 30th, 2015. These flag designs provided a model based on the principles of good flag design that were proposed by Mr. Ted Kay, one of the leaders in the field of vexillology, or the study of flags. We were fortunate enough to have Mr. Kay guide the flag process while he was here in the country in May last year, providing his expertise to this important national campaign. During the consultation period, texting promotions was set up free of charge to the public to encourage participation and to gather feedback. A website dedicated to providing feedback on the flag designs was created, and members of the public were encouraged to participate by email, mail, and to drop off physical submissions. However, for members of the public in different areas of Fiji who are unable to access text and the internet to give their feedback, we sent government teams to visit their main centers. The consultations took place simultaneously in different parts of Fiji and ended on 30th June 2015. Teams were able to visit some of our remote maritime areas, Upper Southern Lau Group, Lomaiviti, Kandavu, and Lutuma. The response, as I said, Madam Speaker, has been overwhelming. We have received over 1,000 more comments and new submissions, and therefore the feedback period has been extended until February 29 to allow all Fijians to provide their views and to suggest more modern Fijian symbols that they can identify with. We continue to receive submissions from Fijians based in urban and rural communities, and I have even received correspondence from those overseas who have commended our bold step towards modernizing our national symbol. Indeed, Madam Speaker, I invite Honorable Mulitavu to give his flag design, because I know he is one who thinks outside the box, sometimes only. From March 1st to March 19, the designs will be selected through the Prime Minister's office. Following the selection of this design, members of the public will have 3 months to express their preference through public consultation, social media, and text messaging. It is expected that our public consultation will be extensive, covering our most remote areas. The message of flag change has spread, and Fijians in rural communities are excited about participating in the change. Following the public's input, it is expected that the new design will be announced on 1st July to be our new national flag. The new national flag will be raised on Constitution Day, which will be celebrated on September the 7th, 2016. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. I give the floor to the Honorable Nabuka.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the whole flag thing is so confusing. Just last week, the Honorable Prime Minister was saying that he respects the Noble Banner Blue and has served proudly under it. And those are sentiments that resonate with the vast majority of the people in Fiji. And Madam Speaker, he projects himself as the man of the people. How can he then take away something so highly revered and dear to the people of Fiji, the flag? Thank you.
I give the floor to him.
For the last 10, 15 minutes, I had explained this in detail. If you can't figure that one out, there must be something wrong with him.
Thank you. I give the floor to the Honorable Tikoda.
We also visit our country too, and they said otherwise. The only thing that comes out of them, our drive towards autocracy, with our linkages to Russia, and ethnicism through China, and ISIS and Arabs. These are all what you people are doing. I'm asking a question here. Question. It's coming. Hold on. Why are you not including out of the 5 flags that you're going to make decisions on, to include also this? Why not? Give the people the right to choose.
Thank you. The question is clear. I give the floor to the Honorable Prime Minister.
Okay, Sangarindamu.
I've just explained in detail why we need to get out of the flag that we have. Again, if you can figure that one out, Madam Speaker, is in the same group as that former Speaker.
Thank you. I give the floor to the Honorable Leader.
Somebody is dropping.
Order. The Honorable Leader of Opposition will have the last supplementary question.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I thank the Honourable Prime Minister for his very long-winded explanation to try to convince us to actually look at the change that he has been proposing for the last year. I asked the Prime Minister to put to a referendum. So people can support or not what he is trying to convince us, what he is trying to...
Thank you. Thank you. The question is clear. I now give the floor to the Honourable Prime Minister. Obviously, your own members don't want you to be heard, but the Honourable Prime Minister has heard your question, and I now give the floor to the Honourable Prime Minister.
Madam Speaker, I want to ask the Leader of the Opposition, the flag she's holding up, was that put through a referendum or not?
Thank you.